Alright guys, we're leaving for Moab in 4 days. I've been prepping this for a long time. So I got this Fun Treks book that shows all the trails in Moab. We're also going to Colorado on the way back. We're going to hit Black Bear Pass, Engineer, basically the Alpine Loop area. Been doing so much work lately, guys. So, pretty much got everything dialed in as soon as we can. A lot of parts are still on back order. So, we didn't get everything done that we needed to. We're still on the factory Rubicon suspension with a heavy-duty rear coil spring to compensate for the weight. We got the updated Fox Rubicon diesel shocks. So all 4 shocks have been replaced at the dealership with the upgraded ones per the TSB for them bottoming out. So we have the shocks updated. We have the rear coils upgraded. The rear sway bar, the Hellwig one, we have that on. It's to its maximum tightness setting to compensate for the weight of the rooftop tent this way. WeBoost is installed. Alpha rooftop tent. I didn't have time to mount solar panels on top of it, but I have an idea set up where I can mount a 175 watt solar panel on the top, and then I'll run it down into the EcoFlow Pro, basically a Jackery 720. But when you're hooked up to the wall outlet, you can charge this from 30% to 100% in an hour. The Jackery takes like 6 to 8 hours. It takes the Jackery to do that. Fast charge time, and it has Wi-Fi. So you can Wi-Fi to it, change the settings. This Freddy light fits in there like so. Great for camp. The fridge is loaded up for the trip. So I had the power supply plugged in all day, so I can get the fridge cold, because once it gets cold, it's good. Well, that book's gonna go on the front seat. I can put that away. I got the propane tank right there. I got the fire pit that runs off the propane, camp stuff. Yeah, so anyway, today's Monday night. On Friday morning, first thing, 4 a.m., me and James and Satish are gonna hit the trail, hit the road to Moab. They don't allow dogs, so I can't bring Wolfie. All right, it is 4 a.m. Friday, July 1st, and we got a slight rain going on, a little drizzle, but we're all packed up and we're on our road. So first we were headed to North Carolina to pick up some rotor packs for $20 from someone who sold their Jeep. So we're gonna drive up there, pick that up, because that's gonna save me about $200. And then we're gonna go meet up with Satish. So I hope I got everything. 10 days on the road, going to Moab and Colorado. So hopefully we got everything. James is ready with his iPad. Got the radio on. Let me set up everything and we'll be on the way. All right, this morning's sun is blinding. So today's day 1 of 10. It is 7 a.m. We are on our way. Actually, I headed up to Greensboro, North Carolina to pick up some rotor packs. I got 2 yellow diesel rotor packs for $20 with all the brackets and hardware to mount it, and they're both full of diesel. So I couldn't pass that deal up. It put me kind of an hour out of the way. We're on I-40 East right now on the out of the way part. But we can go there, pick up that diesel, and then head back across 40 all the way across the entire United States, it's going to seem like. So plan is to be at St. Louis, right past St. Louis, Missouri. There's a state park right off the interstate called Graham Cave State Park. I know, James, but we're staying at a park tonight with a cave. So we're staying at a park tonight. Yeah, Graham Cave State Park.
Yeah, so it's like we're in the park.
Yeah, it's not that kind of park, dude.
Really?
But anyway, it's just James and I, and Satish and Tanya, and our friend, our other friend Jason with the Gladiator that's on 40s, apparently. But we'll catch up later. All right, we stopped at Sheetz gas station.
And I got Cheetos.
You got Cheetos?
I have like some.
So you got a full tank of gas. So we got Doc's diesel, fuel. No, Doc's diesel is a fuel additive for diesel fuel. You put in 2 ounces for a regular tank. It cleans the water up and stabilizes the fuel, gives you a performance boost. And then if you put 4 ounces in, it's the performance boost, which is apparently supposed to give you a little bit more power. So we're gonna try that this trip and see how much it helps out. What's cool about Gladiator with the better display, with the 8.4 display, is you have Travel Link on there with the XM Link display. It allows you to find fuel prices in your area. So you set it up for diesel, and then it gives you the cheapest fuel prices. All right, so this will show you the fuel prices. You hit Travel Link, and then let's see here, fuel prices, and there you go. So right now, this is all set up for diesel, but so in 1 mile that way, it's 538, and then where I just filled up at Sheetz, it was 540. So it's kind of cool. You can plan out on your route, you know, you actually sort it by price. So 536 is the cheapest in the area. Pretty cool, right? Just better focus. So I know I did a video once already with like what displays to have up, but this Travel Link has been very helpful in doing that. And then it also has weather. So I could change location, I could view it on the map. Yeah, it's been very helpful. So we're in North Carolina, and we're almost to the mountain range. See the mountain peak up there, barely. But kind of getting decent miles per gallon. They'll go up. Yeah, we're going through the mountain. This is on I-77 north towards Beckley, West Virginia, or Virginia, Northern Virginia. This is a long tunnel to the site, James. And route. So this is Charleston, but Charleston, Virginia. We're going under an old bridge. Where are we in Huntington? No, this is Chuck Yeager Bridge. Pretty cool. 206. And that's pretty much average while driving on a straight road. Obviously we're not in the Rocky Mountains yet, but the Appalachian Mountains, some of these passes that we go over, I've seen it as high as 230 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's the whole debacle with the new eco diesels. People say they run too hot, or they overheat, or they get too hot and then they'll detune. It won't let the turbo keep going. So we'll see what happens when we get out west with at the actual steep mountain passes. But so far 230 is the highest I've seen it on a couple of the mountain passes that I went over here on the Appalachian. The one on I-40 outside of Asheville, that highway mountain pass, that's pretty steep, where you have all the trucks doing like 20 miles an hour in the right lane. But we went up through 77 on the way up this way because we had to pick up that extra diesel fuel canisters. So I still saw 230 on that pass when I went over the main part of the Appalachia. But let's see, we're about 44 miles to the next switch over here. So we're in Charleston. I think we're in West Virginia now. So it looks like we got some rain coming up on the radar. Some dark clouds. I love this weather app. Alright, we just went through Daniel Boone National Park, and that's where the Daniel Boone Bi-Country Byway Trail is. One of my favorite trails of all time. I'm gonna come back to that. We've been averaging 21 miles per gallon. We just went up a major hill, but the last 3 fill-ups have been 21 miles per gallon. So as long as we keep over 20 miles per gallon, and the gas isn't above $7 a gallon for diesel, we're good on the budget. So it looks like we're coming out ahead on the budget for fuel that I had allotted. James is passed out. And we got about 5 more hours to go. We've been driving since 4 a.m. this morning, and our ETA is 8 o'clock tonight. So day 1 of 2 of the long days. Can't wait till we get out there and enjoy some easy time. Some pumps take forever.
Couldn't do it because the fans aren't there in the studio. They bring something out of the metal pump.
St. Louis, Missouri. So we're crossing over. There's the arch over there. This bridge is so cool. Yeah, it's right next to us over there. But we got to get off right here at this first exit. But the arch is right over there. This is the coolest bridge. The tower over there, that's the arch. You can take an elevator to the top of it. That's the famous St. Louis Arch. We're getting on 70 West, baby. Good morning. This is Graham Cave State Park. I think we're gonna go find the cave. But we got in right at sunset last night. We had the first 2 camp spots, spot 1 and 2. The pads aren't really level for a rooftop tent, so we had to improvise. But it was so hot last night, probably 80 degrees. And it was rough falling asleep, but we were so tired. The fans helped, but it was nice and cool. About 1 o'clock, it really cooled down, probably to 70 degrees. So we all slept until about 7 a.m. So there's only 1 bathroom, and it's right by spot number 13. Day 2, we're still averaging 20 miles per gallon. We are on the Kansas Turnpike. We're getting off here to get gas because Satish is out. And we filled up at the same time last night. So when I'm at a half a tank, he's out. So we did too much driving yesterday. So
New text message from Nick
we did too much driving yesterday, so we are going to stop at Mckinney Lake or whatever. That's where we originally planned to make it a 3-day trip out. So we don't feel like driving 16 hours today, so we're gonna cut it short and sit down and relax for a little bit. I'm gonna stop and get gas up here at a QT. I like QT. This is Kansas. We just started it, but as far as you can see, nothing but rolling green hills and grass. It's not like any crops at all. It's just like rolling hills of grass. Whereas in where I'm from, in Illinois and Indiana, you have rolling, or pretty much straight, just fields of corn or soy. But interesting. It's just slopes of green grass. But still got 6 more hours of this, so we'll see. So we're on day 2. We have 2 more hours till we reach camp for night 2 at Mckinney Lake in Colorado. We're right on the border of Colorado and Kansas on I-70. Nothing but fields of nothing. Rolling hills of grass and windmills. Reminds me of driving up through Illinois or Indiana back home. But we had a problem. Just cruising along at 80 miles an hour with the cruise control on, and the dash lit up like a Christmas tree with all the warning lights and error messages. Pulled over, shut it on, turn it back off. Still all the error messages, see dealer, check engine light on, ABS light on, the little throttle body red circle light on. I got a little cheap generic scanner that I have for situations like this, where I was able to hook it up, and it was code P2404, which, you know, it says a quick Google search shows that it's for like a purge valve for the evap system, which isn't a big deal. I could just, I shouldn't have put it in a lit mode. It's something I could have just, you know, drove with and been fine. But I cleared it, and the car drives fine now. I've been driving for about an hour now. No lights or warnings or issues. Those, the purge valve, that's something that monitors the fumes from the fuel tank into the intake manifold or purges it out. Now, I don't know how it works specifically on a diesel, especially a turbocharged diesel model, but yeah, it's a little bit worrisome since it did put it in a lit mode and kind of had made me pull over and fix it. So a little bit worried about it, but you know, I don't know what to do. A rodent or something from camp last night could have crawled up in there and chewed something up. That's a real problem I've had before in the tundra. I had some mice get in at one campsite, so I did take precautions for that. I have peppermint oil that I put around the intakes on the car, and I have an animal deterrent. It's like a little electrical box that emits flashing lights and a noise. So that I have that in there. But other than that, hopefully it doesn't come back. Hopefully it was just a fluke. We'll definitely keep you updated. You know, you prep for something months on end, weeks and weeks of doing shakedown runs and making sure everything is good to go, especially on a new 2022 Gladiator with 9,000 miles on it now, and 1,500 of those miles are in the last 2 days. But on the other side, I have driven her hard for the last 2 days, put about 1,500 miles in the last 48 hours, and it's hot out, man. It's like 90, 95 degrees, and we're riding it hard, so maybe maybe it's just a fluke. That's what we're hoping for. Definitely keep you updated. Clearing it made it go away. So I put a post on Eco Diesel, JL, and Gladiator Facebook group. So we'll see what happens. I'm out. Hey man, you know where we can get a campsite for the night? You know where we can get a campsite? No? We're in Texas. Say it again. So guys, we're in Colorado. This is Mckinney Lake State Park. It's just a little dried up lake. About 5,000 feet. Satish, Tanya, and James are walking along the path to see if those people over there are leaving so we can get a better campsite. But this will do. At least it's not as hot as it was yesterday. There's a nice cool breeze. It's not humid like it was last night. Like it says it's 90 degrees, but it doesn't, like, it feels like it's 70. And there's a nice constant breeze. We're at about 5,000 feet. And it is just nice and calm out here. Got some clouds. There was some rain going through Denver on the map. So, here's the current situation. The Eco Diesel is throwing a code, or it's putting itself in limp mode, saying that service exhaust, see dealer. And my def gauge is working. It's showing 3/4 of the way full, but it's not. I don't think it's going into regen. I don't know if it's too hot. I mean, we're driving highway speed, so it should be regenning as it goes. I filled it completely up before I left, probably 1,700 miles ago. I filled it completely up. It probably went through 1/4 of it. I put another gallon in it, and the gauge moved, but it's still not going into regen. So twice it went into limp mode, and I was able to clear it with my little scanner. I think that's the problem. The scanner's so old, it's from like 2007, 2008. So the code that it's giving me is not a good code per se. I think the code that it's giving me is for an evap system leak, but it just doesn't make sense why it will say service the exhaust. So the exhaust is not the evap. There's some cows over there, so I want to see if we walk right by the cows. Yeah, I see Tanya over there. All right, well, so I have another scanner. I don't know if I brought it. If I would have brought it, it would be in the other toolbox, which I got on Barry. Luckily, we did not get any rain, but over in the distance, right there, there's a big rain cloud, and it was storming over there. You can see some lightning here in a second. But we had a nice, cool, calm night. We slept good. And this is a nice little layover before you hit the Rocky Mountains, if you're ever traveling this way. We woke up to this view on day 3. We're still a little jet lagged because of the time change. So we're used to East Coast time, but we're 3 hours behind. And today we are headed into Denver, and then we will spend the night tonight in Moab. Well, we're on day 3, and we're on I-70 in Colorado. We're about 40 minutes to Denver, but we're headed west. You can vaguely see, White Cap Mountains. I don't know how good this video is going to pick it up. But straight ahead, like a faint outline, you can just see snow-capped mountains. Oh, oh, oh. O'Reilly's axle on the driver's side. Something that could have been prevented a couple weeks ago. First scenic view of the mountains, Highway 6 out of Denver. The camera, the video does not do it justice. It is crazy. It's the exit for Rocky Mountain National Park. There's still snow up on those mountains over there, if you can see that. So we're on day 3, and we just dealt with all the repair BS. My DEF fluid is working again. Dealing with some rain clouds here on and off. It's crazy. We're a little over 8,000 feet.
That's the tallest mountain. Look at that mountain.
Climbing over. I see it. I already got it on video.
I like that mountain.
You're having fun, huh, James? Yeah. So we already climbed. I don't know. It's crazy to think we're at 8,000 feet. We're super excited. We've driven 3 days now to get to this part to start seeing all the beauty here. And we're going to be on dirt roads tonight for the next week. We're going to be aired down. And everything's working. The Jeep's working. We had all that problem with the Jeep going into Jeep going into limp mode with the exhaust system full, but it just started working. So I do have I did find my better scanner, so preparation goes a long way with that. Satish and I replaced his driver's front CV axle. He was getting a loud noise. I drove around the block, quick inspection, found that the driver's front inner and outer joints were boots completely ripped. Axle making noise. Switched it from reverse to drive. The whole axle would slam.
1,931 miles.
We almost there.
We're over 10,000 feet, coming up on 11,000 feet on I-70 outside of Denver, going through the Rocky Mountains. This is the tallest peak. This is the tallest peak, I believe. Well, interstate peak. We're going through the Eisenhower Tunnel, which I'll go back through and edit this, but I believe it's the longest tunnel completed in 1979. Open your window, James. Hopefully I have enough memory to get through this. But yeah, we're over 11,000 feet right now. I can definitely feel like the air difference is in lightheadedness from oxygen. Jeep's been doing great. Temperatures have been a little high, but that's expected with the EcoDiesel. Normally, I see coolant temperatures of 230 degrees on extreme mountain passes. I don't think I've ever gotten over that. Still going through the tunnel at about 50 miles an hour. A lot of traffic up here as we're coming up on the long, steep grades. So this is the Eisenhower Tunnel. The one to the left of us, I believe, is the Johnson Tunnel. I'm trying to conserve the space on my phone, but I want to get the tunnel in its entirety on this because it is something you don't get to do every day. And this is why I wanted to bring James. Because when I was 6 or 7, my parents brought me out here. But we're not going to be doing we're going to be doing a lot more cool stuff than what my parents did. Because they only had a minivan and 2 really small kids, too. I believe Janelle was just 1 or 2. I was 6 or 7. But I remember it. James is going to remember this. "7% grade next 7 miles. So, if you don't know, whoa, look at that, dude. There's snow up here. Dude. So, we're doing steep grades like this. Let me put your window up.
1,933 miles.
So when doing steep grades like this, you want to manually slap it over and get out of overdrive. So right now I'm in manual 5 at about 3,000 RPM. And with the 7% grade, we're just going to hold this because we still are overrunning. But we don't want to heat up the brakes. Pause. So going down these mountain passes, you could watch people who don't know how to do these properly or damaging their car because they are just holding down on their brake pedal. You see their brake lights on and they're just holding their brakes. So their brake fluid has to be mad hot. Their front rotors have to be scorching, overheating. Granted, we are at a high elevation, the temperature's a lot less, but cars aren't designed. We got 3 more miles of this. If the regen is going to do it, it's going to do it now. Yep, it did move a little bit more. Just been monitoring this a little bit more than I normally do because of the issues I had earlier. But we're definitely dropping altitude. We're down to about 10,000 feet. Just cruising. Temperatures have dropped. Coolant temperature has dropped all the way back down to about 200 from 230. Still holding about 3,000 RPMs on my Eco Diesel.
1,937
about 60 miles an hour. Not pressing the brake pedal. Letting the diesel do all the options. So far there are about 2. Well, there's a third one. Runaway truck ramps. James, you see that ramp up there? Straight ahead. So if the trucks, if they lose their brakes, they just drive up that and it'll slow them down. Is that cool? So what's cool about diesels is there is a tune that you can get for this, which we will be doing very soon because of all this DEF problems we've been having. But what we're going to do is they allow engine diesel brake. So what it does is it opens up the veins in the turbo and it allows for engine braking over 3,000 RPM. So if 3,000 RPM and it sees that you're deaccelerating like this, it opens up the turbo and does more, basically increases the flow and allows for more engine braking, which saves your brakes and helps you out. In comparison to my Toyota Tundra, one of the perks of the Tundra is that the bigger motor, right? So this Eco Diesel is a 3.0 with a turbo. The Tundra was the Tundra had a big V8 in it, 5.7, I believe. I gotta admit that. But the Tundra had that big V8, which would has more airflow, so you have more engine braking.
1,930
More engine
miles.
braking, you know, equals more power like this when you're braking. More braking power, less use of your brakes. So we're coming down. This rain's been on and off lately. Sorry about that. Ears have been popping like crazy. So we're almost down here to Lake Dillon. I think we got couple more passes left up there. About 3.5 more hours, and then we'll be in the desert. Linwood Canyon. Very cool. Been following this canyon for a couple of minutes. Entering Utah country. It's so crazy how the landscape changes right after the Rocky Mountains. So on the other side of the Rocky Mountains, all of a sudden the dirt turns red, and then it just gives way to all these rocks and plateaus. I mean, it's just awesome. Awesome beauty. Like that. You come around a corner and you just see like awesomeness. There's your good soundtrack for this road. Finally made it. 3-day drive. Got Moab in the background. Well guys, this is just part 1. I still have video to go through of the trails we did in Moab, Satish's Breakdown, Arches National Park, Canyonlands National Park, and then our trip to Colorado, Black Bear Pass, Poughkeepsie Gulch, and then we actually went to Black Canyon, and I will have all that. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you'll get a message when I release the next video of the trip out west. As always, thanks for watching. Thank you for the support. We'll keep it going.